Hello everybody, we're going to do another reviews episode today because we have a lot of people wanting the songs reviewing, so here we go. Okay, the first song we're going to review today is called The Usurper and it is by Salvasan606. Okay, I thought that was, on the whole, quite a good song. I think there was a few things that just made it lose its flow quite a lot. Like, the song seemed like it was 3 songs in one. Like, it was the first, I don't know, minute or so. Then there was like...
Was it up until the died down bit?
Yeah, up until the died down bit. Then the died down bit up until the bit where it stops. And then there was like a little bit that was tacked on the end. I think that the first part of the song was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just average in my opinion. I thought the second chunk of the song was awesome because you had your died down section and your really heavy halftime bit that I thought was a really awesome riff. Then the bit at the end that just kind of didn't need to be there because the bit when the second part of the song ended, that was enough of a climax for me.
We thought a new song had started.
Yeah.
We actually went, oh, is this another song? I've accidentally downloaded more than I should have. No.
I thought when you went into the slow section with the all the twinkly clean riffs and stuff, I thought that lasted a lot longer than it should have, or at least added. I think you should have added some kind of other melody over it to kind of carry it through because it just dragged a little bit. But on the whole, good song. I think it got away with being an instrumental. I don't think that would necessarily need vocals on it. You might disagree, but I thought it was pretty good. Again, the halftime riff about 2/3 of the way through the song was by far the highlight of the song, and kudos to only using it once. I know a lot of people that would have scattered that throughout the song because it's the best part. I'm glad you didn't. It made for a better song on the whole, so bravo.
In regards to the lyric side of thing, I think on the whole people are more drawn to listen to songs with lyrics. I think it's a turn on for people to just listen to instrumentals, especially of this kind of genre. I would argue I'd probably prefer it without lyrics. Even though if I was the artist creating this song, I would put lyrics on it. Because it's metal, I don't like metal vocals at all. So I'd prefer it as an instrumental. For example, the soundtrack to Doom, the game that came out like either last year or a few years ago, the soundtrack to it is metal. And it's fucking awesome.
We had a conversation the other week that one of the only reasons why we don't actively listen to metal is because we don't think the vocals are ever good enough. Like, it's either screamo, which I'm not personally a fan of, or it's kind of like half-assed, just mellow singing, which I don't think works. I think metal is actually better when it doesn't have lyrics on it. I think it just...
I'd agree.
Just better.
That being said, the died down section, which is really good, and I really like the died down section. I really like that you kind of died it down, and then it comes in with something heavy, and then kind of like it goes die down, and that I really like that. Dig it. Think that needs vocals over it. Maybe don't put vocals over it. Maybe put a melody over it, like Joe said. My notes say or my notes should have said, put vocals over that bit because it needs something there. But with Joe saying melody, yeah, maybe melody, maybe just a guitar melody or pick a different instrument.
I'd recommend not using like a crap MIDI of like a cello or something because that's a little bit cliche. I would recommend something different, even a guitar, just something
cool. Maybe. It felt like 3 different songs. Like the 3 individual sections felt like they could be developed into 3 individual songs. Whether you'd want to do that or not, totally up to you. Because as a piece that kind of evolves, it works. So maybe don't do that. Maybe do that. It's just worth thinking about. And there was a thrash bit within the first section where it goes to like proper thrash playing. Don't like it at all. I just don't like kind of thrash punk, and that was just thrash metal. So not my jam. But if you like it, keep it. That's just personal preference. The next song is called Take You Away, and it's by Pink Tide.
monkeys of the side of the day that you fell down and cried, you cried for.
The blend of Indian funk makes me like indie more.
You think?
I think so. You know, generic indie, like stuff that you couldn't say, oh, this is indie with this. It's stuff that's just indie. Don't like pretty much any of it. Maybe like the first Arctic Monkeys album, but even then I'd argue that it's got a little bit of rawness and like punky strumming patterns and stuff that kind of bring it into a little bit of its own. Generic indie stuff I do not like. When it's added with like shoegaze, I like, and when it's added with funk, I like. I like this song. The guitar stuff, the kind of riffs and like the funky feelings of everything, really, really cool. There's a section that I just called it the I'll Take You Away section. Joe called it a chorus when we were talking about it. I don't know whether you class it as a chorus. Probably you do class it as a chorus. I don't feel as though it was played enough for it to be classed as a chorus, but whatever. That section needs work. Maybe it could be feel a little bit bigger, maybe a bit of distortion, I'd hesitate to say, because maybe that wouldn't give you the sound that you want, but it feels like it kind of at that section. Maybe add a bit more of a funky element in there, like add an extra guitar bit in that's doing something a bit more lively, because the song feels like it dies at that point, and I really wish it didn't, because it's really cool up until that point. Everything feels like...
What's happened? Do you think if that works, so the electricity is not gone? I think you're both blown money.
These two.
Oh.
I don't know what that section needs.
Someone's fucking with the building today.
I don't know what that section needs. Distortion maybe work. Adding a funky riff may work. I don't know. I just feel as though that section needs something, because everything else...
Right, something needs to be done about this.
I don't know whether it needs distortion or just the funky riff, or... I don't know. But everything up to that point in the song feels like it feels right. It feels like there's an intro and there's a verse, and it needs that chorus. It needs a chorus to really bring the song together, and I don't feel as though that section does that.
Okay, I think the song had a really nice feel to it. It was very... I don't know, it had a nice, upbeat, jazzy feel to it, which I really like. I think the indie and the jazz and the funk worked really well. I think the indie and the jazz and the funk all worked really well together. However, I don't think the song showed... I was struggling to pinpoint what emotion I was supposed to be getting from that song. Like, it wasn't angry, it wasn't overly happy, it wasn't sad or anything. It was just kind of middle of the road, everything. And I don't think... I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I didn't really get any kind of emotion from that song. Maybe that's what you wanted, I don't know, just something to think about. I thought the lead guitar when you were playing the riff, I thought it was a little bit too loud, but it was a pretty cool riff, so I thought the chorus, as Lenny said, was quite lackluster. I think it needs either to keep the funkiness throughout the chorus, or it needs to have stuff added to it, like maybe a melody or extra instruments or extra vocals or just something to keep it going, because it's like it's supposed to be the climax of the song and it just kind of dies for that section, I think. I think it could be done a lot better. I thought the ending took way too long. Like, there was the section at the end that just... I think it should have ended like 8 bars before it did, and then even after that there was like the whole twinkly thing that was still going on for a while with the little bit of like pad synth floating about, and I didn't think it needed it at all. I think you could have just ended it there, cut the song about 20-30 seconds, and I think the song would have benefited for it. However, yeah, it was a good feel. The indie, the funk and the jazz worked really well together, so continue to do what you do. Okay, the last song of today is called Gavin Mate by Indoor Kites.
Gavin, mate, I don't know why there's girls all around you. And Gavin, mate, I don't know why these people all surround you. In a state, I know that there's some ways I kinda like you in a state. Gavin, mate, don't you know that the drugs don't make you look no fitter? But I suppose it's your jawline that makes the girls quiver. And toe to toe, you walk with them and talk about the weather.
I really like that song. I thought it echoed Kate Nash and Lily Allen quite a lot. I think it was the whole, like,
Borderline spoken word.
Yeah, of like the attitude of the way the vocals were done, and obviously because it's a female vocal, it was very. I don't know. It was good. I liked it. I thought the melody of the vocals was good, and the lyrics were also quite good and full of. They just made sense when I heard them. It wasn't like I was trying to figure out what they meant, or they didn't seem pretentious at all. They were just there and they said what they needed to say.
I suppose it's almost like Cornet Barnett kind of thing.
Suppose,
in that kind of way, the way that it's almost like just I'm just gonna say the stuff that I feel. I'm not gonna be all metaphorical about it. I'm just gonna just say it. That's what it felt like.
I also thought that it was effortless with the way that you sang it. It sounded almost like you were freestyling it, which is a really good thing and a really hard thing to achieve. Like, it's almost sort of like what your big band singers like Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett do, where it just sounds like they're not straining or it takes them no effort at all to sing. It sounded like it took you no effort to sing and speak those words, so I think it really worked. I felt like when the bass came in, me and Lenny kind of looked at each other and was like, has the bass just come in? And it didn't really seem like enough of an impact to warrant the bass coming in where it did. However, I thought the riff that you played throughout the last chorus of the song was really good. I think you should continue to play something of that similar-esque when it comes in initially, because when it comes in, it's just like, note, note, and it's just, come on, keep it going, keep the energy of the song going. The guitar sounded really messy and like it was done in a garage, and I really like that. The whole attitude of the song was great, and I think it has potential to be a very, very good song when you get it recorded properly.
Yes. So to, I guess the biggest kind of qualm that I have with the song is you rhymed fitter and quiver, and I don't know whether it's with your accent or whatever, but I don't think fitter and quiver work all that well as a rhyme. Personally, I would change one of those two lines to make a better rhyme, but that's probably really petty. But it just stood out to me, and I was like, oh, don't really like that. I presume it'd be an end goal anyway, but getting drums on the track would be really handy. I presume that'd be what you're aiming for anyway, with this being a demo. I'd get some effects on the vocals while you're at it, because why not? I think it all depends on kind of what vision you have as an artist. Do you want to kind of be doing like indie pop? Maybe. Do you want to be doing more of like a kind of garagey, more rough kind of thing? Because that's kind of what you've got already. Obviously it's a demo, so it's going to be rough, but the kind of the feel and kind of the looseness of the guitar playing and the casualness of the lyrics and the vocals makes it feel kind of like what garage indie, maybe garage. It's not garage rock in the terms of like, because I mean my band goes under garage rock, and that's not what this is. It's more kind of casual. It's not heavy, it's just casual, but I think a garage kind of influence, like the raw kind of influence, maybe will work. So maybe putting a little bit of distortion or a little bit of a fuzz or something on the vocal, just kind of quiet, like kind of have it bust and have mostly the raw vocal coming through, but a little bit of distortion. That might sound really cool. Because it felt quite dry. The vocal was obviously sang into a mic, nothing done to it, which doesn't always sound all that great. So maybe just a little bit of reverb or something might just help it flow in the track a little bit better. Again, it's a demo, so it doesn't really matter. It's just worth thinking about when you go to actually record this properly, kind of what sound you want, because you have potential with this song to have a really cool, unique sound. I don't know if you'd agree, but I think there's kind of a unique kind of band sound that could come from this style of song, and I wouldn't want you to kind of squander that opportunity by kind of copying someone else's sound. I would mess around with a load of different sounds for guitar and drums and vocals and stuff to kind of make your own thing that kind of suits this style, because I feel as though that's what you need. You've got a kind of a cool little sound in terms of songwriting, so get a cool, interesting sound in terms of tone.
If it was me that had written that song, I think I'd want to take it down the indie pop route, to be honest. I think exploiting the whole easygoing guitar sound, I think, would work a lot better. Personally, I wouldn't really want to distort the vocals or develop it into a garage rock song, because I think it would lose a lot of the casualness of the vocals, but that is up to you. Do what you like with it. It's a very, very good basis for a song, so...
Yeah. Don't know. whatever artist you like will obviously influence what sound you want, but I would advise going for something a little bit unique with your sound. Obviously that's easier said than done, but avoid outright copying one artist, because I think in terms of songwriting you have something kind of cool going on. Thank you for quite a good response on last video, by the way. We did a video about how schools are a bit shit at teaching music, and not enough people disagree. I want more people that disagree with us to comment. So if you have a different opinion to us on how schools should be teaching, please go and comment on that video, because I want to see what other people's opinions are. Because disagreeing is good, and that's how you end up with better stuff. If you want to see more from this series, click on, I think I've learnt this, click on my side of the screen, and you will be taken to the reviews playlist. And if you want to see the best of playlists, click on your side of the screen. They're all our best of videos.
Because I am the best.
We should swap sides. Have a good day.